let's talk about what that's like being in business together.
I love it.
You've been in business together for a long time.
The whole time,
How
the whole
long?
relationship, 17 years.
Right.
I mean, at the start, there was definitely moments of navigating who's doing what and stepping on each other's toes. But now it's like he does his role, I do my role. He's got strengths, and I'm like I honestly, hands on my heart, I don't think I could run a business without him. It's just not for me. But the stuff I do, he's like, oh, I don't want to be on camera. It just works so well together.
It's pretty funny when you every now and again put him on there, though. He
so
plays
funny.
well. He's like my husband. My husband will play well, but it's not his favourite thing.
No, but yeah, we just work really well together. So
I mean, I
honestly,
think it's fantastic if you can have someone that you love and trust in your business and you can work together.
Mum's back working for us as well. She does all our finances now.
That's so great, though. But I mean, how beautiful to have this, and also you're not ever going to trust anyone more than
No way. Yeah, it's really beautiful.
And also, I'm imagining when things have been rough, it only strengthens things. But at the same time, you can make decisions to go, this is not important right now. And when you're an employee,
I know,
and you've got
right?
stuff going on.
So like Steve came home the other day and I could just see his energy was not good. And have you heard of Breno Brown saying like checking where your partner's at? I could see he was at about a 10. So I was like, you go sit down. I know you've had a hard day. You've still got shit to do. I got the kids, cooked them dinner, did the bath, got everything organized. And then at the end of the night, he was like, oh, thank you so much for picking up the slack. And I was like, that's what we do for each other. And it's cool because we're both in tune with what each other's doing. When I go up to the podcast to record and he holds the fort down here, it just works.
Well, you're very aware. Like it's been 17 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. Makes me feel so old.
Oh my gosh, I know. When I say I've been a practitioner for 20 years, that makes me
wow.
But my point is, I guess there's also been challenges within all of that.
Yeah.
It's hard work. You've got to work at that. You didn't just have 17 years of blissful marriage and business partnership and parenting. And you haven't parented 17 years, but you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
There's times where it's hard.
Parenting, marriage, business, there's been so many moments where we thought it was done. Having our first child.
And if you weren't sitting here saying that, we'd be going, okay.
Yeah,
good
on you. Like, happy for you.
Sure.
You do.
So again, thank you, because it's important, I think, to talk about it. And people don't need to know the ins and outs. They just need to know that we've had challenges.
Everyone has it. If everyone doesn't say they've had it, they're lying. You're not always going to agree on things. You're two different people combining your world. You've grown up different. You have different beliefs, different triggers and traumas that you have to learn to navigate. Biggest thing for me, I think, was learning how to regulate myself. I was quite a reactor in the relationship. So if I'd get triggered, it was just like, big and fiery. That's been my biggest skill. He's quite a calm, chill person, but he's had to learn how to like hold all of me. As women, we're quite loud and fiery. We've got many different sides. Well, emotional.
Absolutely. But I also think as women, especially working driven women, and everyone is whatever they want to be. Yeah. Not like I'm saying everyone needs to be working and driven. But if you are, you're probably a bit of a fiery spirit.
And got a lot of masculine energy.
And got a lot of masculine energy. And so finding someone that can actually hold space to that, they're pretty unique.
Sure. And that's also hard as a feminine female to balance, right? I definitely was in my masculine energy for so long. I feel like up until my brain diagnosis. And I was like, holy shit, I'm so out of touch with my feminine energy because I'm just hustle and I'm goals and I'm looking after staff and I'm so structured. So it was so cool after that to make those decisions and to close down the business. I got to actually like flow a bit more. It made me feel so much more connected to myself, and that just overpoured our intimate relationship as well.
It's interesting when you speak about that feminine energy, because if you had mentioned that 10 years ago, Ashy, you probably would have been like, well,
honestly, I would have screwed my nose up at you. What the fuck?
But what does that mean for you now? So what does stepping into that involve?
Feminine energy for me, it's a lot more slow and flow, not so structured. It's being more flexible and adaptable to different things. And it's even little things in my day. For example, instead of going to bed in a oversized shirt because it's comfortable, I'll hop in a nightie and I'll take time applying my moisturizing cream. And I light a candle and I put music on in the background when I'm cooking dinner. And it's just little moments that just help me tap into that softer version of myself. Whereas before that, I hop in my baggy shirt and I'm like, okay, dinner's here, and I'm on my phone replying to this email like, kids, go do this. And it was just like so rushed. And I wasn't
because you weren't in flow.
It was not in flow, and I wasn't showing up as the best version of myself because that's not me at my core. Like, I'm feminine at my core, but I'd lost her along the way of trying to prove that I could be successful.
Have you changed even like your training and how you're approaching your days? Like, does that look different? I guess rituals or things that you would do now, what do they look like?
Training's very similar. I feel like since I had Taj, it's swapped from training to look a certain way, just to being so appreciative that I can move. So I still love weight training, Pilates and walking. Movement for me is for my mental health. As I said, from a little girl, I've always moved. It just makes me feel good. And if I don't move, I'm just not the greatest Ashy. A bit more snappy, a bit more impatient, irritated. I rest a lot more now. You couldn't catch me sitting still. Even on weekends, I'd want to be doing things all the time. Whereas I actually like to rest now, and it's so important for me. So that's probably the biggest thing that has changed, is just slowing down more and allowing rest with zero guilt. Zero guilt.
Recovery is very important. Rest and recovery, but you can't have recovery without the doing. Even to get the benefit of exercise is in the recovery. But it doesn't mean you have to exercise crazy to like trigger recovery like crazy. You can't have, like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's beautiful because this is the version of you now, and this may be changed in 10 years' time, and kids are a bit older.
100%.
And you've got more time. It's like
have new challenges you've got to come across. I'm sure when I go through menopause, it's going to look completely different as well.
I think that we're lucky though, because there's a lot of information about what to do next,
True.
whereas our mums didn't have that.
I know. I feel sorry for them not having all the information that we had. Hey, such tougher.
I remember speaking to a neighbour of mine, and she actually used to train at our gym, but she was always 20 years older than all of us. And she said, I had to figure this out. I knew that it wasn't an abyss where you just fell in a hole. I knew that. But there was no one talking about it. There was nobody telling me what to do. There was no guidance. I had to figure it out. Imagine that.
Oh, tough.
Right? She was like, I was training wrong. I was eating wrong. I was doing it like I was 25. It doesn't work anymore.
No, it doesn't, does it?
No.
Body needs different things. I suppose the training, when you say that, how I train now to how I trained when I was 20 is so different. It used to be so much more HIIT training and cardio and just smashing and bashing and the leanest and the strongest. And now it's more just for movement and energy.
What's next? Like, is there anything else on the horizon, or is this what we're doing right now? And you're like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't plan too much in the future. A lot more travel. My kids my oldest is 9 and then my youngest is 2.5. I've always said once kids get to 4, they're much easier to travel with.
Yes,
so
they really are. But also, my advice on that is travel anyway, because they'll get used to it. It's only going to be painful a few times.
That's so true.
Travel is of high value, and eating out at restaurants is something else that's two things kids don't really necessarily blend well in. I never forget the first time with Geordie, I was like, right, this kid has to learn to sit still at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So we picked out the local pizza place, and I said to my husband, every Friday night, until he figures out how to sit down in a high chair, we're going to go to the same place. It didn't matter if he threw spaghetti. It didn't matter. Yeah. The first 2 times, oh my goodness, torture. And of course you do do you want to sit in the car?
Yeah, the threats.
And I did take him to the car one of the time.
Yeah.
And I stood there, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, mummy. And so it just got better. And I think it took about 6 dinners for him to actually learn to sit in his high chair. But then it was easy after that.
It's really good you've done that. So I'm the avoider. If I have a bad experience, I'm like, never again.
I know, but I feel like it was important to me to eat in restaurants.
And it's very important for me to eat out too. So I feel you on that.
I was like, these are the things that are non-negotiable when I have children. And it's whatever your values are. Like, not everyone likes to do that. And some people will be like, I'd rather poke hot pins in my eyes than take my toddler to a restaurant.
Yeah.
But you start with the local pizza place.
Yeah, that's a really
not
good
my
advice.
idea of great dinner, but it was just to practice and figure it out and
get them used to it.
Get them used to it. They've got to exist in this world together.
Yeah, exactly.